That right there is a 22-year-old rapper telling one of the biggest stars in his own city that he is about to put all their business out in the street. 18 days after he said that, this is what was left of him.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy J Rillo, and make sure you subscribe to the channel with post notifications on so I can keep you updated, cause there's been some chaos going on in Sniper Gang with KTB artist 26CJ going off on Instagram. So recently 26CJ went on a rant on Instagram saying, I've been real quiet about this FN cause I thought we was gonna keep it gangster, but I see y'all don't respect real no more. Y'all respect the internet. So after I dropped this interview, expect a whole lot of exposing and disrespect coming out of me and my music and on every social media platform. Since you love female dogs, I'm assuming, wanna play, let's play. And he followed that up with, we ain't tied in with nobody. Don't nobody do more spending than us. Anybody say my name, I'ma come see you. That's on my soul. I ain't gonna lie, bro talking crazy. But he continued to rant with, if you got any piece of jewelry took from you, I can't beef with you. You too cat. And if you ever got popped and the person who popped you still walking around without a scratch, you too cat. I can't beef with you. You not qualified. Bro talking crazy. He said, I'm outside. Anybody want to get up with me tonight, just DM me. I'll come to you. That boy older, boy. People say anything to say they self. First Psycho Bob, now me? You still want him away? Let's not get too messy. Then like a day later he posted, just talk to Psycho Bob, he'll be home soon. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section about another Sniper Gang artist beefing with Kodak Black. That's tough. But anyways, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy J Rillo. Turn me up.
Shot, then burned up in his own Benz, and to this day nobody has been locked up for it. So how did it get this far? Let me run it all the way back for you. His name was Javian Ross, but in Pompano Beach, Florida, the streets knew him as 26CJ, a 22-year-old rapper and a father of 3 who the people around him remembered as loving and genuine. He came up in a rough, low-income part of Broward County, started making his own beats back around the 6th grade, and turned everything he lived through into music about family, loyalty, and getting up out of the mud. Hold on to that word loyalty, because the way the streets tell this story, loyalty is exactly the thing that got broken, and that is what got him killed. To understand why anybody would want this young man dead, you have to know who he was running with. Somewhere between 2016 and 2020, Javian did a prison bid, and while he was locked up, he got tight with 2 men who would end up shaping the rest of his short life. One of them was Kodak Black, the founder and the boss of the Sniper Gang label, also called KTB, and one of the biggest names to ever come out of South Florida. The other one was a young Sniper Gang artist named Wisdom Williams, whose real name was Wisdom Williams.
Tell y'all niggas something, man. Y'all new generation ass niggas, man. You cannot go around sacrificing your whole team. The next thing you know, when you lonely, you go around and Twitter about the shit like you going through postpartum depression, nigga. Shut the fuck up. You know what you were signing into, nigga.
When all 3 of them got back home from their cases, those prison bonds turned into real music and affiliation, and some rap coverage started describing Javian as a signee or a member of Kodak's crew. This was not some fan watching from the outside either, because Kodak himself had once claimed him in public, posting that 26CJ been my nigga before all damn niggas anyways. Yeah, real niggas, real hitters. So, for a little while, Javian was on the inside of one of the most respected operations in the state. And that is what makes everything that came after it so heavy. The trouble really started after Wiz the Wizard got murdered in 2021, and we are going to break that whole case all the way down later, because it matters way more than it looks like right now. For the moment, just know that after Wiz died, the streets started pointing fingers at Javian and accusing him of being the snake who helped set his own friend up for a price. True or not, that rumor stuck to him like tar, and it stuck even harder when Javian dropped a mixtape called King Cobra and put the very man later charged with killing Wiz on a song called My Twin.
To a whole lot of people in Broward, a man with a snake for an album title, making records with his friend's accused killer, was not a coincidence at all. It looked like a confession.
Listen, man, if you know me, man. You know I don't give a fuck about this internet shit, all this clout shit. I don't care for that. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't even say nothing crazy to you, bruh. Shit, bitch, I ain't saying you green. I ain't saying you pussy. I ain't none of that, bitch. You my dog. I love you, bitch. I just want to buy the contract, bitch. You avoiding everything else but that contract. You talking about everything but that contract, bro. We not beefing, bro. The world know that, bro. You my brother, bro. It ain't that deep. We can link up and fight if that was the case. It ain't that deep. We ain't got no problem with each other, bro. You tripping, bro. I just want to get out my contract. What we doing? You don't fuck with a nigga, you ain't cool with a nigga. We ain't talking, it ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? Most definitely, bitch, let me buy the contract. So what we doing? Fuck all that. That shit irrelevant. Most definitely.
Now here is where the lead up to his own death really starts moving. Instead of staying low and letting the noise die down, Javion did the complete opposite. And in the first weeks of March 2023, just weeks before he was killed, he hopped on Instagram and went straight at the same crew that helped build his name. He told everybody he had been keeping his mouth shut out of loyalty, but that he was done with that, and that an interview full of exposing was on the way. Then he went somewhere even more dangerous and took a shot at the boss's reputation to his face.
Why did this happen, and where was this man killed? Make their way into a crime scene after a man was found dead on a sidewalk Friday.
Investigation continues. There's going to be detectives reaching out to the family, friends, trying to get some more information.
According to Hallandale Beach Police, a neighbor found the body around 6 a.m. in front of this home on Northwest 6th Terrace and 9th Court. It's unclear at this point if the man was actually killed there or if his body was dumped, but police say he did grow up in the area.
Everybody in South Florida heard that line right away as a jab at Kodak's own leg shooting back in 2022, the one Kodak had played off like it was nothing. So now you have got a young artist who was already getting accused of snaking a brother, standing in front of a camera telling the most powerful man in his city that he is not even built for beef, and tagging other crew members while he's doing it.
Although law enforcement hasn't confirmed who he is, the victim has been identified on social media as rapper Wiz Da Wizard, and as people gathered at the scene, some pushed their way under the crime scene tape.
When you suspect that it might be a family member of yours or a loved one, you would want to try to confirm that for yourself. It wasn't anything malicious or ill will, it was just trying to get their own confirmation.
Now, investigators are working to figure out who did this and why.
We're making a plea to the public at this time that if anyone has any information that could help us assist with a suspect, then that would be greatly appreciated.
In a world where loyalty is everything, and speaking on the crew can get you killed, Javion knew the rules better than almost anybody, and he still chose to break them out loud and on camera. 18 days after he promised to expose everything, all of that talking went silent. Early in the morning on March 28, 2023, people living in a quiet Pompano Beach apartment lot woke up to the sound of gunshots, and right after that, they started smelling smoke and seeing flames coming off a car parked behind the building. That car was a 2022 Mercedes-Benz SUV, and it belonged to Javion. When they finally knocked the fire down and looked inside, they found a body sitting in the back seat, burned so badly that the investigators could not even tell right away whether it was a man or a woman. The neighbors who lived through that morning painted an even clearer picture of how fast and how violent the whole thing was. One man who only spoke Spanish and did not want his name out there told reporters that, at 6:10 in the morning, I heard a gunshot. Then 40 seconds later, I heard another gunshot. I came outside and saw smoke, and then saw the car on fire.
This is on Marcus. I ain't signed that motherfucking contract. I ain't a bitch like you. I ain't going out like that to me. I don't play them kind of motherfucking games. Touch
They took your answer, man.
Nah. I don't know your little punk ass sweet. Dangerous in the booth, but not in the street.
Another resident named Eric Sharp said the same thing in his own way, telling reporters he heard pow 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 and decided he was not about to walk over there and turn into a victim himself, so he just called the police instead. So the picture the investigators were left with was gunshots first, then fire right behind it. And the one detail that told everybody this was no accident was sitting right there on the ground the whole time. A red gas can was found next to that burned-out car, which made it plain that somebody shot this young man and then poured gas and set him on fire on purpose, trying to wipe him and whatever evidence was in that car off the map. The Broward County Medical Examiner later confirmed the ugliest part of it, ruling that the cause of death was gunshot wounds and that the fire was set afterward. The body was burned so badly that they had to identify him through other means, and even now it is still not publicly known whether Javion was shot inside that Benz or killed somewhere else and put in the back seat before it went up in flames. This is the part where you would expect the case to get solved, and this is also the part where it goes cold and just stays cold. The Broward Sheriff's Office took the lead, brought in homicide detectives and crime scene units, and because of that gas can, they pulled in the state fire marshal too, since the arson was so obvious.
Around little bro because they trying to help him. They want to see him do better.
Real shit though.
Yeah.
You know what's going on, fam.
A whole lot of 26 shit.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, feel me? Nigga come from the trenches. You know? I'm the first young nigga to ever bring a lamb to the hood, bro. I'm lying, bit, bro.
Oh, neighborhood hero, bro.
I'm the first young nigga to bring it.
They put out the usual plea for help and offered a reward of up to $5,000 through Crime Stoppers for anybody who knew something. And then there was nothing. No suspect was ever named, no motive was ever announced, and as of 2026, the murder of Javion Ross is still sitting there open and unsolved, with no arrest and no trial for whoever did it. But while the police had nothing to say, the streets had already made up their mind. And this is where the rest of the story fills itself in. Almost as soon as Javion's car stopped smoking, people in the Broward rap scene were connecting his death straight back to that Wiz the Wizard situation we touched on earlier. A local rapper named Wham Spinthabin, who used to run with Wiz, got online and basically called it karma, with people quoting him saying that Javion played with Wiz and got set on fire, and that a couple more of them were about to get the same treatment. To them, this was not random violence at all. This was a debt finally getting collected for snaking a brother. You can hear that exact same energy in something Kodak's own cousin, G1 the Don, had put out earlier about people who run their mouths online about crew business after everything falls apart.
Hold on, bro. Nigga think this shit. Hold on, stop. Hold on. Where that key at, booby? Booby?
Yes, sir.
Where that key at? Real shit. Young nigga, you feel me? Came from nothing, you know?
That clip was not aimed at Javion by name, but it tells you everything about the world he was living in, where putting the family's business on the internet leaves you standing out there all by yourself. And that is the real weight of all this, because there is a clear pattern sitting underneath it that is way bigger than one rapper. You have two men who ran with the same crew, who both fell out with that crew, and who both ended up murdered in brutal ways in the same part of Broward County. The difference is that one of those two cases finally moved through the system, and when it did, the evidence that came out of it changed the way a lot of people look at this entire thing. So let me take you into that case, because that is where the receipts actually are. To really understand 26 CJ's death, you have to understand the death that came right before it, because it is both the closest thing this whole saga has to a courtroom story and the clearest mirror of what happened to him. Wiz the Wizard was a rising sniper gang artist out of the same Broward scene, and back in September of 2021, a neighbor found his body dumped in the front yard of an empty home in Hollandale Beach. The local news caught it that same morning while the investigators were still working the scene.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy J Rillo, and make sure you subscribe to the channel with post notifications on so I can keep you updated, cause there's been some chaos going on in Sniper Game with KTB artist 26CJ going off on Instagram. So recently 26CJ went on a rant on Instagram.
He had been shot more than once, and just like Javion, his body was moved and left somewhere it would be found. What makes it hit even harder is that in the months before he died, Wiz had a very public falling out with Kodak, but he kept telling everybody that it was only about business and not real beef. He said it himself, plain as day. All he wanted was out of his contract. He even offered to pay his own way out, and not too long after that, he was gone. For years, that was just street talk with no paperwork behind it, until the system finally moved on it. In November of 2024, Broward prosecutors hit a rival gang called the Dania Hot Boys with a big indictment. And that case put real charges on the table for the first time. A rapper named HMT Trey, whose real name is Trayvon Key, got charged with the first-degree murder of Wiz. And the case against the crew was built mostly on cell phone location data and text messages. When the people who follow these cases started reading through that paperwork, they found something that set the whole internet on fire, because buried inside it was a claim that money had been put up for Wiz's life, and the name attached to that offer was not some random rival at all.
This is on Marcus. I ain't signed that motherfucking contract. I ain't a bitch like you. I ain't going out like that. Me? I don't play them kind of motherfucking games. Touch one of mine,
Your answer,
I'ma
man.
hit you, man. Nah, I don't know your little punk ass sweet. Dangerous in the booth, but not in the street.
That allegation, that Kodak Black had offered $20,000 for the killing of his own friend, came straight out of a defense motion in that case. Now I have to keep it a buck with you, because even that filing itself admits the text is hardly proof that anybody actually got paid, and Kodak has never been charged in connection with Wiz's death at all. But once a claim like that is out in the open, every single death in that circle starts to look like it belongs to the same story. And the parallels between these two deaths get hard to ignore once you put them next to each other. Both Wiz and Javion ran with Sniper Gang. Both of them fell out with the crew over loyalty and money, and both of them ended up shot and then dumped or burned in that same stretch of Broward County, both of them in the early morning hours. Wiz's killers even burned a car to destroy evidence in his case, the same exact way Javion's killer torched that Benz. The streets look at those two stories and see one clear message about what happens to anybody who is seen crossing the wrong people, even though, and this part really matters, there is no physical evidence, no witness, and no official finding that ties Kodak, Sniper Gang, or anybody else to Javion's murder. That feeling everybody has in their gut has never once shown up in a real case file. And Javion's own case still has no arrest behind it.
Why did this happen, and where was this man killed? Make their way into a crime scene after a man was found dead on a sidewalk Friday.
Investigation continues. There's going to be detectives reaching out to the family, friends, trying to get some more information.
According to Hallandale Beach Police, a neighbor found the body around 6 a.m. in front of this home on Northwest 6th Terrace and 9th Court. It's unclear at this point if the man was actually killed there or if his body was dumped, but police say he did grow up in the area.
So when you stack the whole thing up, what you are really left with is two young men from the same crew, area, and the same kind of fallout, both dead in ways that look almost identical, with one case finally getting answers and the other one still wide open. Javion told the world he was about to expose everything, and 18 days later he was shot and set on fire. And to this day, nobody knows for sure if that was payback for what he was about to say or payback for what the streets say he already did to Wiz. I want to leave that question right here with you, because that is really where it belongs. Do you think 26 CJ got silenced for the secrets he was about to spill? Or do you think this was street justice for snaking Wiz the Wizard? Drop a comment telling me which clip in this video flipped your opinion, because I am reading every single one of them. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.